Hey everybody, Star 6 Wars 1 here, and welcome to the next month's Gainax video. For this one, we're going to take a look at the second to last movie, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann Movie 1, Gurren Hen, or as it's called in English, Childhood's End. Okay, this review will be a little different and quite a bit shorter because I am going to be skipping music and characters for the most part in favor of something coming up a little later. So we're going to start off with a story, which is going to be our main focus point of this review. Okay, I want to point out something right now. The first 2 minutes of this movie are actually different from the first 2 minutes of the series. I actually think that the first 2 minutes of this is fairly interesting and gives some really good backstory, which the series only hinted at. This one doesn't show us everything either. It just shows us enough to make us interested and hook us into the movie. And that final climax battle is just as good as any of the fights, actually as good as the best fights in the series, in my opinion. However, the rest of the story kind of suffers from rehashing, botched rehashing, and skimming over things that, while may not seem important at first glance, kinda help bring the story together. I'll be very honest in saying that, unfortunately, this really hurts the film more than it should. So, well, you got a great ending and a great first 2 minutes, but you gotta sit through a lot of rehash stuff from the series and stuff that was skimmed over, losing a lot of emotional development. It still has its good scenes, mind you, but you lose a lot when you get into stuff like this. This is why I don't like recap movies, because the story is usually shit or broken, and in this case, it's more broken. Not bad, just broken as hell, and a gigantic mess. The animation, for the most part, the parts that were skimmed over were where the animation was at its worst, so I'll actually say, yeah, the animation's pretty good here, showing off the best of the series' animation, and showing off some good original animation that they did. Good job to the movie for that much. And besides that, the characters are pretty good, but some lose some of the emotional development that they had in the series. I only said some. Others still keep enough of it to make it interesting. But yeah, a lot of them do lose their emotional impact, so you're stuck with that. Overall, I'm not going to say this is a bad movie, because it really isn't, but the movie is a mess, with some damaged character development from the series, and a heavily damaged story, which, I admit this, well, I'll save that for another time, what I think about the story for the series, but this one's just a mess. It's at least a good mess, though. I give Gurren Lagann Movie 1 Gurren Hen a 6.5 out of 10. If it wasn't for some of the character development being skimmed over / skipped altogether, and some problems with the story, I would probably give this a much higher score. A much higher score. But sadly, the movie suffers from it, and I recommend it if you've seen the series, but it's recommended with caution because of some of the more problems with this movie. Anyways, that's all from me. This has been Star 6 Wars 1, and I'll see you guys next time.